Well, that was fun, everyone. Very fun indeed. Okay, there may have been a few nervy moments later on, but we've done it. We've won another derby. We're 6 points clear with just 2 games to go, and we're going to win another league title. And it's a weekend. It's just gone 2 minutes past midnight here in Melbourne, Sunday morning. We thought we'd bring you a wee bonus video you weren't expecting if Celtic won. We, of course, have won. And the good news is, it's not just me. Look at that man. And look at that stadium behind him. Stevie boy, how are you?
Right. Buzzing, you're right. It was really nervous, honestly. And this is what I was saying. I know in the video, people were having a go in comments. What's that misery guts? What's that miserable prick all about and stuff? And they're fair enough. It's all about opinions. And this is why I was saying it was never going to be a big 4-0, 5-0 job. And I was right. You know what? I wish it was wrong, and I wish it was a comfortable afternoon, because that was really, really stressful. But it was a case of by any means necessary, and I don't care how we did it. I'm not going to be criticising whatsoever here in this video. This isn't for nitpicking. This is just about celebrating 3 mega important points. And honestly, yeah, we can, obviously, there's time for analysis down the road, but right after a game like that, isn't it, what me and you do, it's just about celebrating the team, picking up at a massive 3 points and a huge win. Delighted for them, man. Delighted. And I think everyone here is too. So aye, buzzing, mate.
Sorry, I just let out a big yes, come on, because I just kind of remembered that we've beat them again, and we're going to be looking at winning the league. Amazing stuff. You make a good point there, Stevie. I think in the main, this is just going to be a relatively brief video just to capture the moment. And obviously on Monday, I'll come back and look at some of the fallout and maybe some tears from certain people. Just to tell, I mean, it's interesting that you say that you were kind of nervy in that second half. I guess the last few minutes for me here watching were nervy. How were you the rest of the second half? Because I always felt quite in control with them a man less and kind of knowing they had to win that match. Was it different at the game?
Aye, different. I think it was just one of the ones where usually at the game, you know, people I was speaking to in the 2-1 December game were always saying to me, oh God, I couldn't get through that. But I felt absolutely ease. It was only really in the last 20 minutes when Rangers went down to 10 men that you felt as a wee bit uncomfortable. And that was because I think maybe neglect crept in there from us. And also they started getting to the point where they just threw everything at us, because as I did say on Thursday, just like that game, you know, tactically they had nothing to lose. They just might as well go for it. I think they played better in the December game than what they did there. I thought they looked pretty. They were an empty shell of a team.
Yeah.
And that's what really surprised me about the goal. I don't know if you want to come on to that and whatever later on.
Go for it.
But yeah, I'll talk about that later on. But it was just about it totally shocked me. I think that was the thing that you know, that was why people were nervy, Hamish. It was nothing to do with. I did say in the video during the week we were going to be our biggest complacency, and the biggest thing we had to worry about was ourselves. And I stood by that, because we were daft for that goal that we gave away, total control, and then a goal out of nothing. And I think that's why people understandably were you know, a wee bit tetchy, I think, a lot of the second half. But I guess if I've got it recorded and everything, I haven't seen any replays, by the way. I haven't seen any goals. I've not seen a thing. I'm just doing like a raw reaction with you. So I'm sure when I go back home tonight and watch it all through and everything, I'll look back going, oh, why was I getting worried there? Or why was I getting stressed out there? But, you know, even at that, even if it was unconvincing at times, the main thing was just winning, Hamish, and that's the bottom line. Stone Cold said so and all that. But it's the truth. It's all matters. It's all matters. We got the 3 points, and it was a case of by any means necessary. Nobody left that ground today, by the way. Nobody left that ground in a mood of going, oh, by the way, he was. It was just a case of celebrating that win, and that's what it was all about there, man.
100%. I mean, I've got a lot of sympathy for the team. I think it's difficult playing against 10 men. I was at a game here, Melbourne Derby, last week. Melbourne City were 1-0 up and went down to 10 men. Ended up losing that match on penalties. Like, there's sometimes a burden when you've got an extra man. And Ranger, I don't know what you thought of Rangers' tactics in that second half, but to be honest, throughout the game, they were just giving Callum McGregor so much space as if they've never learned their lesson. And I thought in the main in that second half, I mean, we should have killed that game off. The chances we created, the penalty, Ida has an absolute sitter. There was a number of shots as well. And it's always going to get nervy when you get late on, and maybe some people will cling on to the fact that maybe our game management in the last kind of 10 minutes wasn't ideal. I don't really care, to be honest. I just thought the way we turned up. See that first half as well, Stevie. First half, brilliant. Celtic were all over
superb
Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, the goals are brilliant. Matt O'Reilly's finish was great. We'd had a few shots prior to that as well. O'Reilly had one. McGregor, I think, had 2 or 3. That goal was brilliant, the way he took it. Dyson Maida's touch for the second goal. Do you remember it? Unbelievable touch.
Yeah, the touch from CCV's outstanding diagonal pass. Amazing pass, brilliant touch. And yeah, it was funny. They were all singing after the game. John Lundstrom won the league at Celtic Park. What a guy. He's a legend. He's going to go out as a Celtic hero. I know it's funny because, just a few months ago, apparently he was the best midfielder in Scotland or something. But yeah, a dud. Dud then, dud now, dud forever. But that's no problem to worry about. We've actually got competent midfielders. I just want to start with saying I thought every time CCV had the ball, I was so calm. Like it felt like my personal sort of just like... See that way where like, people got a stress ball and all that. It was like CCV for me. It was just any time he was on the ball, it was like, right, we're all right, everything's good. He was just outstanding today for us. Cal McGregor, who, and I think justifiably so, we've not been putting in 2 foot on him for nothing. I think we've got high standards at this club, and Cal McGregor's performances in recent weeks hadn't been good enough. Magnificent today. There was so often, twice, that he was trying to get the crowd G'd up for it as well towards the main stand. And just at times managing to slow the game down and telling players just to calm it with the throw-ins, not go so quick. We wouldn't have saw that under the previous manager, but that was a game just to calm it today and for cool heads, and he prevailed because Celtic were essentially, they kept their discipline while Rangers didn't. And I want to give a shout out to Dyson Maeda, who was utter. I mean, I don't know how he could have lasted 90 minutes there in the nicest possible way. The guy's a freak. And he is just ridiculous. And I'm saying that. The reality is he's just an extremely fit guy that looks after himself, unlike yours truly. But he's unbelievable. And honestly, what a staggeringly good performance today. Buzzing for him. And, you remember a couple of years ago, I was unconvinced with Maeda at times. And there was all this talk of that final ball and, just at times letting him down in the last third. Couldn't care. Because as long as he's at Celtic, Dyson Maeda is going to be revered, and rightly so. And I really, really hope that we get, I think he did sign a contract, didn't he, in the summer as well. Hope he sees it out, because with a guy like him in the team, you really will appreciate when he's gone. Like, we are going to be worse off without him. For the 3, as I said, the spine, CCV, McGregor, and Maeda, to that extent, just... Big characters today when we really needed it. Hamish could not be happier for them in the team.
Maeda was fabulous. There's always been a kind of weird thing with the Celtic support in Maeda. I think some people appreciate him for some reason. Even at the start of this season, he'd been a bit of a joke figure for some people. Maeda, he's so bad. We need to improve, and I just love the guy. I love what he brings. I actually can't think of a Celtic player. Certainly a cult Celtic player that I've loved more, maybe someone like Georgios Samaras, but what Maeda brings, that energy. He had 2 or 3 moments today where he tracked back like 30 yards and won the ball. In Celtic Park, you'll know better than me, that Celtic Park seemed to be, everyone seemed to be on their feet at those moments. I think one was with Tavernier early on, there was one in the second half, and there's one 87 minutes in where he gets the ball and he drives at Sterling and ends up winning as a corner, and that's 87 minutes into the game. I love him. James Forrest today was fabulous, and I called that outstanding. I called that during the week. I think James Forrest feels like an experienced older head now in the nicest possible way. And I just thought today everything he did was so sure. The amount of really neat passes he had, wee kind of slips into players. He had one in the second half that looked like a simple pass to Alistair Johnson, but it was great. Johnson should actually have done better. Final shout, I thought Anthony Ralston was great when he came on as well. I thought he really gets stuck in, and he was solid. He was actually a lot better than Alistair Johnson was.
Yeah, I actually said that to John Dial-Up Reid after the game. I said to Reid after it that Ralston actually played well, and we might have to rely on him for the final now. Have to see how that goes. But yeah, I have got to echo you with James Forrest. Forrest actually, he wasn't as panicked on the ball. Like, he actually knew when to drive at players. He knew when to run. Wasn't it a case of him always trying to get behind? There was a couple of times he just held his position, didn't do anything. And maybe in the past, like, you would have been frustrated at that, thinking that he was being standoffish and being cautious. But today, Forrest actually knew exactly when Barisic was going to step forward and go in behind him. Everything you're saying, I echo that. And I'm really happy after the game for Joe Hart as well. There was a bit where the camera panned on him, Hamish. And he looked so delighted today. He looked so delighted after that. We already knew anyway after the Aberdeen game how much that meant to him in the semi-final. And also he was talking about it in the lead up to games, how he really wants to go out in the high. You saw that today. He looked extremely happy. Like, he looked every inch a Celtic fan, like anybody out in the stands and all that. So he did. So I don't know if that's it. No, that was in the Rangers bus leaving. I was going to give him a wee wave there, say hi to John Lundstrom. See in a bit. But I don't know if it is. It looks. Have they got a Parks of Hamilton bus? I'm not sure. Is it?
Is there floods of tears coming out the back? That's the way to tell.
It's in bad condition. Before it and all that, it's in bad condition, and it looks as if it's the best years were maybe beyond it. So it must be that bus. Who knows? Anyway.
Oh, that's the point I was going to make. I mean, I don't know what way they're going to, spin this after the game. I'm assuming they're going to put it down as some sort of gutsy performance with 10 men. Can we just get something straight? That was an utter battering, and Celtic missed so many chances. I was watching that game in the second half, and I felt like I was dreaming for parts of it with how much of the ball we were getting. There was a spell for about 10 minutes at the start of the second half where it was honestly like Rangers had 8 men, not 10. We were peppering their goal. Obviously O'Reilly, terrible penalty. I think he's sworn on Sky Sports. He called it a shit penalty afterwards, and he's 100% right. That for me was a penalty. By the way, you won't have seen it. John Lundstrom's tackle is horrendous. I can't believe it wasn't given as a red. And the more ridiculous thing, Kenny Miller on Sky Sports was saying that it wasn't a red card. And
wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me? You trying to tell me? A
former Celtic striker.
Aye, Hamish, should you try to tell me it was a blatant red card, and that great guy, brilliant referee William Collum, was actually trying to let VAR referee the game and not make a call himself?
Listen,
surely not.
To be fair, for the penalty, Willie Collum actually deserves credit because he stuck with his decision. You know, when you go over to the monitor, they usually change, but the Lundstrom tackle, it's one of the worst tackles I've seen in a while. You've got a better memory than me, and people might be able to help. Has a player ever scored an own goal and get sent off in the same derby match? Celtic Rangers.
Obviously, Rickson at Celtic Park had an utter shocker, that 6-2 game. Seen some, obviously, Senderos get sent off, but I can't remember the last time that, even the 5-0 one when we won the league, don't think there was an own goal scored.
No.
So,
yeah.
No, I can't think of one. I say, John Lundstrom, man of the match, what a performance. Brilliant, legend. What was
the atmosphere like then throughout? Was it a good day?
But I think, good day, Hamish, especially after the game there, a good 10 minutes before anybody actually pulled out. I'll send you over things for Monday's video. But understandably so, it was very tense as well. Like, and even everybody was standing in our section, but no, it was still really tense at times. Like, people were getting worried anytime Rangers were on a half, and I get that. Obviously, the Hearts game was different because they don't carry the threat Rangers do, even with 11 men. But the atmosphere for the most part was excellent, and so much so that the guys at the North Curve, I don't think realised that Dessers actually scored to make it 2-1. Well, they were still celebrating, going mental. And then before we noticed 2-1, I saw quite a few of them turn round and not realise it. But no, they get right behind the team. They were influential in making sure that everybody was getting right behind the team as much as possible. And I think the fans did well today, considering just what was on the line. And we did know that. We're never going to get a game where it's going to be 90 minutes like that, even though, envision it, get into it. that's what you're saying for the 90 minutes we're all united together. Human emotion takes control, but all it takes is a lucky break, a set piece. And they had a few corners and people were understandably edgy about it, me included, but for the most part the fans stuck with the team, even during some moments where certain players were iffy, to say the least. But again,
Ambrose.
don't want don't want to criticise any player today. It's not the time for it. It's just about celebrating the team and a massive job well done. We'll get into all the other stuff later, I'm sure.
By any means necessary, we got the job done.
Yep.
And it moves us forward, Stevie, to Wednesday night, Rugby Park. One more point. One more point is required from our last two games, Kilmarnock away, St Mirren at home, for us to be crowned 3 in a row champions. That's assuming Rangers win their last two games. If they fail to beat Dundee, which I believe is on Tuesday night, we'll be crowned champions then. It's going to happen, everyone. Celtic are going to win 3 in a row, but we've not won it yet. We've got that to look forward to. And can I say something, by the way? I hope Rangers win on Tuesday night. I want us to go to Rugby Park and I want us to win it at the ground that has given us the most tough times this season, start and middle. I think to win the league at Rugby Park would be fitting. And that's not just because I'm from Ayrshire, by the way. And I'm sorry I had to just admit I'm from Ayrshire, everyone.
Right, it's still the old press week to me. But I mean, it's mad, isn't it? The moment it sort of derailed our campaign this season, the ground where it derailed a bit, where we crashed out of the cup. And now we can go there to win the league. Personally, on a selfish level, I would love to win it at Celtic Park, but I just want to win it as soon as possible now. Don't want to drag it out. Don't want to get to that point where there's any doubt Kelly now and we go to Celtic Park and people are, the nerves will be shredded and that. I agree with you. I would like to win it on the pitch. I'd like these players to go out there, get the win, get to draw the 3 points and make sure we get over the line. We deserve that. But at this point, even if Rangers do slip it, and by the way, I really don't, my thoughts on Dundee, I don't think they'll do it. But if Dundee did take something off them, I'll tell you what, I would take back every negative thing I've ever said about them.
But it doesn't.
And I would say Tony Docherty deserves that manager of the year. He's just so good.
We don't really. It doesn't. I mean, Rangers Dundee doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't. We're home and dry pretty much, and we can look forward to it. I'm just buzzing for Thursday morning. For me, I might have a wee beer at 4:30 in the morning. I think it kicks off. Talking of beers or whatever, you said you were off it. Will you have a few tonight?
I'll have some tonight, but I'm not. The rest of the guys all went into the city centre. I'm going to go back home. It's actually my granny's birthday today, so I'm going to go and see her. And then my daughter's got one of the sleepover things, so I've got to be the family man here, Stevie Griffin. But I've got to do that. But listen, there's 2 packs ahead. That's just the way it is.
Stevie, I really appreciate you joining me because I know it's you'd probably be rather be doing many more things, but I'm sure everyone else appreciates it.
It's all right. Mum is killing, so I'll have to. Chris killing. I'll have to try and do something better for next time. But listen, don't worry about that. It's really good to see you, and hopefully people don't call me miserable after this because I am absolutely buzzing. We've done it again.
Champions again, everyone. Soon. Not long now, some would say. Right, Stevie, we'll say goodbye to you. Thanks very much. Thanks everyone for tuning into this video. A wee bonus one. Enjoy your Saturday, whatever you're doing. I'll be fast asleep, but enjoy yourself. Don't let that stop you. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful night wherever you're watching on the planet. A wonderful weekend. Celtic are going to be champions again, and we've got all that to look forward to next week. Back on Monday.